Jimmy Garoppolo is playing really well in the sense that not turning the ball over, completing a high percentage of his throws. Really, I mean, that's what you want him to do, right? 70% completions, essentially, and not turning the ball over. It's just that that one deep shot a game that Kyle schemes up, that's open, that he can't hit. Most recently, it's McCaffrey. It's rough. And then you'll look at other plays where, the defense is giving you single high, Ayuk's one-on-one, he's open down the sideline, and Jimmy doesn't even look. It just seems like that's not part of his game. It's not going to be part of his game. And he's accepted that. I think he feels it doesn't need to be part of his game. He can win the Super Bowl playing the way he plays. Do you think he needs to be able to hit that deep pass to win the Super Bowl? I mean, he missed it to Emmanuel Sanders, and they lost. Can they work around this, or is this something he's going to need to be able to hit every once in a while?
They could work around it if he's taking care of the football like he's been the last 4 to 5 games. And doesn't have too many low moment throws. And like low moment throws are more than just like, throwing a peck. Sometimes it could be like inaccurate throws. Like you had him wide open, like short or whatever. You do a bad throw or it was close to the receiver. Because right now what's been going on, it's been, as inconsistent offense has been, it has been working just sufficiently for them because the defense is going to be able to hold on and you don't put them in a compromising position for them to get broken. But if there is like very good consistencies, then that's when it's the two passes really going to be demanded of him to be able to hit. To me, I think as long as he's taking some shots, which I don't think he took more than 1 or 2 against the Saints. You had the McCaffrey one, and I forget the other one if there even was another one.
He took one deep to Ayuk down the right sideline, and
that's what I was thinking. Okay, yeah,
right.
Yeah, that was pretty much like the ones that stood out to me. Like to me, it's like if you're still challenging him and just giving him that threat to think about. That might be enough to be like, okay, we got to not respect him, but we should try to like not fall asleep on that there. But if he hits it, it does even more wonders to opening up the offense to at least getting the defense like, oh, well, let's dial it back here. Jimmy's actually hitting this. He's on one today. So to me, it's like Jimmy either has it or he doesn't because there's been games this season where he has hit some of those throws. And it's like, okay, he's clicking. Like against Atlanta, he hit a couple of those throws. It's like he actually has it turned on right now. Let's see if Kyle would actually like unleash him a little bit and let him drop back more. Because he's kind of like a pitcher to me. It's like he either comes up to the mound and he has it or he doesn't. And you can tell early on if he has it or he doesn't. This game pass against the Saints, he didn't have it. So you probably don't want to really call too much.
You hit him a few times. I think he doesn't have it. If he can stand back there like against Arizona and he feels cool, like he's protected, all of a sudden he's confident, he might hit that throw. But when you rough him up in the first quarter, all of a sudden he starts getting the happy feet and he starts like, I don't know, missing throws he should hit like that one. I think he does have to hit this throw. I think when you are in the playoffs and you're going against really good teams that are dialed into the game plan, I mean, if you go up against Kansas City or Buffalo, they can throw the ball down the field and will. And I don't know that you can keep up if you are just throwing short passes and they know it, because you've seen good defenses can sort of take that away. If you can get pressure with 4 and play press man coverage, sort of take away the quick stuff. It's kind of what we saw last week. That's what Dennis Allen tried to do. They're giving you single high. They're giving it Brandon Ayuk one-on-ones against, questionable corners. You won't take it. I think that makes the rest of the offense really tough. So, I mean, they can get far playing this way. They've shown it. But I think to win the whole thing, like Joe Montana didn't throw deep a lot, but he could do it. He could hit the post over the middle. He could hit him. He would have hit Emmanuel Sanders. He would have hit Christian McCaffrey. I mean, those are not long throws. That's not a 50-yard throw. That's like a 30-yard throw. It's like a 30-yard throw.
He never will.
It seems like he's very good at throwing throws on a line. The 15-yard throw over the middle. But when he has to just put a little touch or loft on it, it's like, dude, you just missed the backboard entirely. What the hell was that? He's like Carlton, taking the ball in one hand, just throwing it half court. It's like, dude, come on, man. Can we get a set shot, please? I don't know.
Which I think back to that Chargers game, how he was able to to launch one deep from on the run, which is like, damn, you can make that pretty accurately in stride, but when you have your feet set, which I guess that's the problem. When he has his feet set, that's a lot of times when he's just standing there, it's like he's not going to have the most sound technique and to deliver it.
And he's got Ayuk. He's got Ayuk, man. Ayuk to me is like Torrey Holt. The guy is really good. And if you see him one-on-one, you don't have to be a great quarterback. And I think there's so many quarterbacks in the league that would just be like, oh, Ayuk one-on-one? Andy Dalton would be like, I'm throwing that. But Jimmy's like, I don't know. Like, he's going to win. It's not a tough throw. Throw it quick. 3-step drop. Give him a chance. And he won't do it. I think that's going to come back to bite him unless he changes that up. You got a guy winning on the outside. Give him the damn ball. Sorry.
I think the pressure point you brought up correlates perfectly, how he was getting hit early and often, and that definitely threw him off his game. Because one thing I'll say about Jimmy that I've noticed, that's why I've been saying he's been playing exceptionally well to excellent the last like month and a half or pretty much majority of the season, is he looks like confident and poised for the most part. He hasn't looked skittish like we're used to.
Healthy.
And then until this last game, where he got hit early and often, it's like that kind of like hurt him in terms of like, all right, I don't feel safe back here. My clock is going on faster. I'm feeling more pressured.
You got to remember, he's gotten injured a lot. He's a free agent in a few months. He's got a surgically repaired thumb, shoulder, and knee. And when he gets hit, I think he's a little nervous. Like, am I good? Am I good? Am I good? He got hit in his knee and he freaked out.
Sure.
You saw that, right? He freaked out.
Scary. I thought he was done.
He was screaming on the field, and everything was cool. Done. And now we'll see how he is today. But for a second, he was like, "Oh my God, my knee." So I'm telling you, like he's got a little. I'm not saying he's got the yips, but he's got a lot to protect on the field. And once you start hitting him a little bit,
or anxiety, or
he does. So
it makes sense. Can you blame him? It's like you get an injury, it's not fully healed, or if it is healed, it's like I'm still used to this. Like I'm scared of this or whatever. You just don't feel the same. I mean, kudos if you're able to do that. Wow, you're mentally confident, so strong. But I wouldn't blame Jimmy if that's the case either, because that's tough to like really try to get over. I mean, he's been doing fine for the most part, but it's clear that what's able to unhinge him is just those several hits early on, whether it's like in play or not. That's going to be enough to which a lot of quarterbacks, even without injuries, do that. That's what they always say. Get the quarterback, set the defense always says, set the tone, stop the run, hit the quarterback, and watch the chips fall down. Watch all of a sudden him get skittish, while all of a sudden him start to crack. The only quarterbacks who could stay up front and while they take hits early on is probably Rodgers and Brady back in the heyday, or a year or two ago. Not in the heyday, because this year they kind of look But yeah, like a lot of those quarterbacks who can take those hits early and they just stand there like, all right, I've been taking hits, but I'm still going to throw this with the utmost confidence.
Yeah, but the thing with Jimmy is he's pretty much demonstrated that he's pretty fragile. He's just fragile, and he knows it.
He's one hit away. He's always one hit away.
He's one hit away, and I think even though he's having a good year, he was having a good year last year, and he got hit in Tennessee on December 7th. What was it? It was like right 23rd. It was right before Christmas. He got roughed up. That was it. And he was playing hurt the rest of the year. I think we're all kind of like wondering, is that going to happen again? I mean, you've only played 10 games this year. Can you do it? And the one game against New Orleans, he gets roughed up. It's like, okay, now the knee's sore. So, the book is going to – any team that can get pressure with 4 and drop – I mean, they were getting pressure with 3 in this game and dropping 8. That's rough. Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, you can't pass against that. You got to move a little bit. So, I don't know. We'll see. I think that the game plan against him is going to get more sophisticated. He's going to have a tough time.
He just, I mean, if they're going to, look, they're going to play the Dolphins this week, and I know they got Bradley Chubb, which I don't think he's been too dominant this year like he has been in year past. I don't even think he's been dominant at all. He's been good.
Oh, he's got 7 sacks.
7 sacks. Both teams. He's a threat. He's a threat. But who else is there? Greg Roju?
They got Jalen Phillips. He's pretty good.
Oh, Jalen Phillips.
They got Melvin Ingram. He's a little old, but
that pass rush might be the only thing that's going to be like.
Yeah, they got Xavier Howard. I mean, it'll be interesting. They don't have a great defense, but they got some guys. It'll be interesting. And like really, their team isn't built to shut you down on defense. Their team is built to slow you down on defense so they can win with their offense.
I believe the rushing stats, Miami's defense they're pretty susceptible, like they're bottom 5 or 10.
Yeah, but so were the Saints and so were the Chargers, and the Niners couldn't get it done. So let's see what they got. Let's see what they got. Funny Money says, you see Debo was out clubbing last night on Hood. No, I didn't see that. Why are you trying to get Debo in trouble, man? That's messed up.
It was a Tuesday. It was his off day.
Yeah, why on Tuesday? Maybe I was out clubbing last night. You don't know.
There's no clubs open on Tuesday.
Maybe me and Debo clubbed together. Yeah, there's no clubs open on a Tuesday.
That was probably old.
Yeah. And if there is a club open on a Tuesday, it would
make sense to rich people or something. It would.
I'm poor. I'm Poor says, do you think Jeff Wilson Jr. will tell McDaniel the Niners' new offensive plays and formations? Tell him new ways to exploit the defense and what that means? I mean, I'm sure McDaniel already knows.
I was about to say, yeah, I think McDaniel already knows.
He already knows. Yeah, he could probably bring in Jeff and be like, hey, did they change anything? This is what I think it is. And Jeff be like, yeah, no, it's this now. He'd be like, all right, cool.
I don't
Thanks,
think
Jeff.
it's anything Wilson or even McDaniel can know too much from with the 49ers about the defensive scheme. I'm sure there's like a general sense, but it won't be nowhere near the same as like understanding the offense, which he would just relay to his defensive coordinator. Because D'Amico's would be like, that's great. You don't really know anything else other than just like what we want to do, which is like, duh, we want to hit you, hurt often.
Joshua Wyatt says Jimmy Garoppolo missed that throw to CMC. He's got to hit that throw, but Kyle never went back to it. You can't shell up against better teams. Call it again, Kyle.
You can't go back to when you missed it badly.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like one of those specialty plays where once you show it, I mean, the team's going to be like, okay, so if they do this, then we can't give up a touchdown. So if they call this play again, this is what we're going to do. It's kind of those things where you kind of like can call it once a season, maybe once a month. They're not going to call it again for a while because they put it on film. The next team, the Dolphins, are preparing for that this week. There's going to be 5 minutes in their practice where like, all right, well, they showed this. This is what we're going to do if we see this. So now you got to have the next, I don't know what you call it, like specialty play.
Pretty much
shot play. It's a shot play.
Guaranteed. I'd call it guaranteed plays or highly efficient plays.
A quick six. A quick six.
Yeah, the quick six.
The quick
kind of like
six.
characterize it as like 6 bullets in a Magnum pistol, where it's like he's got 6 bullets on the table. He can only use them at certain times, and once it's fired off, you can't go back. If you don't hit it,
you can't go back
because now you're screwed.
Yep, that's right.
Only a certain amount of time. Same thing with blitzes on defense.
I agree. Corey Soto says, I think the main point for those who criticize Jimmy is that they simply don't want to watch him anymore. I get it. That's part of it. Yeah, I'm a little tired of watching Jimmy. It's the same. It's not exciting either. Even like his best games are like, oh, wow, he completed. Okay. He threw for 220 yards. That's,
But I think that's why I've been giving him credit because okay, he's playing. His low moments seem reduced. No picks. He's going off script more than we've ever seen him. Even though he's not completing it downfield, he's at least trying a little bit. So to me, it's like, all right, tip the cap, Jimmy, because I did not think you had zero of that in you. He just feels like he's playing free. Which someone asked that last week, remember? Someone asked that last week, and he said, our relationship's getting better. I just want him to, he kind of previously said, I want him to trust me or something like that.
Yeah.
There's something in there, and I was like, see? Boom, right there. He's playing a little more unleashed. He's like, Kyle, I'm not going to, play ink to paper how close you want me to do to your structure. I'm going to try to do what I want to do.
It's just hard to praise anyone on this offense that much when there's so much talent and they're 15th in points. Yeah, Jimmy's fine. He's doing good. It's hard to point at anyone in the offense and be like, oh, man, he's killing it. Okay, well, where's the production? Yards great, but it's really, frankly, the sport is only about points. That's all it's about. And it's been 11 games, and the Niners can only score big against their divisional opponents. What the hell is that? So, yeah, good job, Jimmy, but put the ball in the end zone, man.
Yeah,
please.
After this game, I was like, damn it, Grant's going to be on the money with this one. They really do only play. After that game, I was like, they really do just play really, really, really elite against division. Well, offensively. Because
maybe they're holding back. Maybe they're holding back and they're just going to, just shock and awe on Miami this week.
I just wouldn't be shocked if they really do think how some fans say, all we got to do is score a few scores. It could be anything, touchdowns and field goals, just a few scores, and the defense will take us home, country roads. And it's no, don't live that content. Don't live that content. Help your defense out. Don't be slackers. Okay, don't be a Zach Wilson on offense. Pick up the slack.
Also, if you're going to add all this talent to your offense, use it. Score. What's the point of trading 4 picks for a running back if you're still going to be we need our defense to take this home? What the hell you want to have an explosive offense, so be one. Show it. Right?
Your best friend in the media tried to say it explains why the offense was slow. They got back from Mexico City late Tuesday morning. They're groggish. I'm like, wait.
I saw that.
The defense didn't have that either?
What about the defense?
I was like, are you stupid? Come on, dude. The Cape Crusader, dude. This guy. Come on, dog.
I know. It's just we're bending over backwards to find excuses when they don't pay you to do that. You're not
think he's standing
on
over
the Niners.
I think he's just the other way around.
Ooh, okay. Spider-Man says defense is lights out. Is it safe to say the only weakness on the team is Lenore? He seems to have at least 1 PI each game. I can't say the defense is lights out, though, because they got eviscerated by the Chiefs. That's the only good offense they've faced. So I think this is a big game for the defense, too. The pass rush hasn't been great without Armstead. Bosa's great, but he gets double teamed, and no one else has really been stepping up. Run defense is very good. But yeah, Lenore, he's given up a 75 completion percentage and like a 100 quarterback rating, and he hasn't really gotten tested the last month.
Lenore's been solid to me, but considering he's been thrown into the fire, it could to me it could have been a lot worse. And I think
he was worse last year. He was worse last year.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and Ambry Thomas would be worse now, I think.
Yeah, that's why they signed Janoris Jenkins. I was like, wait, Ambry, you guys are signing this washed-up guy?
Since when is a wheel route down the sideline to your best player a one-time play? Jimmy Garoppolo missed that throw, and Kyle never took another sideline shot.
Because it brought in the defense.
That's fair. You could call a wheel route to him in another way. I just don't think you can call that exact same play. You could call a similar concept. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think you can call the same play out of the same formation because they've seen it. So you have to dress it up a little bit differently. But yeah, I mean, it seems like the Niners, when they call deep shots, it's for tight ends and running backs because they don't think Jimmy can throw down the sideline to wide receivers, which is kind of crazy to me. But yeah, they should probably keep. But I mean, from Kyle's perspective, you missed the throw by 5 yards. Like, why should I call another
that badly? Especially it's
just a wasted play.
It's that badly. If Kyle knows if Jimmy doesn't hit it, he's just not gonna call it again. Because there's been times where Jimmy has hit the guy or been close to it, and he's just like, I'm just not gonna call it again. If it
I don't think Jimmy wants to throw it. I think Kyle will call like a shot, be like, Jimmy, it's a shot play. He's going to be open. You have to throw this ball. But if it's 3rd and 3 and he hits one-on-one with Ayuk and it's like, well, he's running a fade. I like the matchup. He's like, I'm not even going to look that way. I don't want to throw that ball because I'll miss it and it'll be embarrassing. I think that's where he's at. He still has PTSD from missing that throw in the Super Bowl. It's the most memorable play of his career. Still. Good call, Josh. How much, if any, credit does Brian Griese get for Jimmy Garoppolo play this year?
Yeah, I talked about this last week. How much does he? At least a little bit, maybe, right?
You got to give the position coach credit for a player's. I mean, I would give him credit. Yes. I don't know if it's him, but all of a sudden Jimmy Garoppolo's protecting the ball better and throwing it away. I mean, why would you not give Brian Griese credit? I think so.
Which he seems like an upgrade than Rich Scangarello, who just got fired as offensive coordinator from Kentucky.
Yeah, and it was interesting. The Niners had Rich Scangarello and Shane Day. And I'm sure they've been coaches for a long time, but neither one I don't think ever played quarterback. And now you go to the other end of the spectrum, Brian Griese, who's never coached before, but he played quarterback. And it's tough for someone who never played the position to tell Jimmy Garoppolo when to check it down or when to throw it away. Like, that's a feel thing that you don't know.
Which I think he has a better idea about.
Griese can talk more about the realities of playing the position, where those other guys could probably talk more about the theories of playing the position. And I think that's good for Jimmy. So good for Brian Griese. He hates me, by the way.
Brian Griese?
Hates me.
Why? What'd you say?
Oh, when they hired him, I just went off about what a terrible hire it was. And I think he probably read it because he's on Twitter. And so, you know, that one day where you get to interview the coaches.
Oh, he's giving hella attitude?
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I was like, I asked him.
You definitely saw it.
I asked him like how like Trey Lance has improved during camp. How is he?
Didn't he give a good answer?
I asked him how Trey Lance has performed in training camp, and he was like, "Performed? What do you mean performed? Like, yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, how is he doing?" And he was like, "Oh, how's he doing?" I was like, "What?" Yeah, so he hates me, but you know, fair.
Get in line.
Yeah. Oh, get in line. If Jimmy blows it, his new name will be Micho Rizzo. I don't get it.
Look it up.
Game Time says so. Rams will never see another Super Bowl ring, Ramelia. That team is rough. They're going to have to like blow that up and start it over because that team sucks. Whew, does it suck?
That's what happens when FM Picks turns on you. But it's not even just FM Picks.
It's all of that. And that's why I feel like the Niners got to be careful because they've been trying to be like the Rams. They're like two years behind the Rams and everything, or one. So don't be like the Rams. No Filter Truth Hurt says, okay, these Jimmy fans calling people who criticize his player a hater for the chat. Do you honestly think this guy has all the skill sets? Be real. No. Absolutely not.
Great comment.
Again, what's the best performance of Jimmy Garoppolo's career?
2019
that one game against the Saints, that one game against Seattle. Like,
I'll take the Seattle one over that one, to be honest.
That's
3 years ago, though. That's 3 years ago.
Yeah.